So let's go to the next quarter.
Yeah.
All right. So third quarter coming up, and we're talking about college. We talked about neighborhood. We talked about going to high school, winning the state championship, but now we're going to talk about college. And Maurice and Bill, you mentioned it earlier about North Greenville and UNC Spartanburg, but tell me about that transition from being that guy in the neighborhood, then winning it all, and then going to college. What was that like? Because we had some people. I know Smurf went to the Citadel. We had some people from the neighborhood who went, but you got a chance to go. What was it like?
Well, I'll go first. It was different because coming from Wade Hampton and then I go to North Greenville my first year, everyone there, junior college, was either all-state or all-star. So my first year there, I sat on the bench for like at least 10 games. 10 games in a row I sat on the bench. And that's something I wasn't used to.
Mm-hmm.
And but I just finally went to the coach and asked coach, like, I said to him, like, what can I do to get more minutes? What do I need to do? And he said, well, Willie, you need to work on this, this, and this. He said I had to work on my jump shot, my pull-up jumpers. I don't know where my jumper went because I could shoot before. So I don't know where it had. And I had to work on my catch and shoot. So for me, I worked on those things so hard, but I was in great shape. And I got better at it. And as soon as I got my chance to play, like I think after that ninth game, I got my chance to play and I performed well. And then from then on, I ended up playing and starting for the rest of the season. But that was tough. That was tough for me to sit on that bench, Jack. Yeah, because I had never been on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't quit. I could have easily just gave up too and just say, okay, I'm content with that. But I wasn't content with that.
No, not from where we're from. You're not going to be content being on the bench. But there's a life lesson in that, everybody. And the life lesson is if you're not playing, he didn't call home and say, hey, I want to come home. They're not playing me. He didn't say, look, man, the coach treat me wrong because of this, because of that. He went to the coach, took it in his own hands and said, coach, what do I need to do to play? And that's in life. If you're not successful the way you want to be, you got to ask those tough questions and accept the feedback, constructive criticism, and be able to move forward. So, Bill, that's it, man. That's a lesson that a lot of people need to hear right now, and they don't want to hear it. But being an athlete, it teaches you that. If I'm not playing, I'm going to play. You can play me. I can do something.
Right. That's right.
What about you, Maurice? Going to college, what was it like?
Well, I told you what my first week was like, and I ended up leaving and going to coming back to Walterboro to Salkehatchie. And when we was in high school, we really didn't talk about that a lot, like going to college until like our junior, maybe senior year. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like, oh, we're going to college, we're going to play here, and like some of these kids that have it now, they have so much more. I mean, with the training and all these different things, but that transition to getting there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for when I ended up, I was at Salt for a year, then I went to Lander University, Lander College back then. And my roommate, Dale Fleming, God rest his soul. If it wasn't for him, he and I were roommates. If it wasn't for him, and he was a year, maybe 2 years ahead of me, being a positive role model, waking me up in the morning, hey, Mo, get up, you got to go, man. We a party, we did all our partying every night, but he made sure that I got up and did what I needed to go into class, study hall, got to be to breakfast after we work out in the morning. And that meant a lot. So when I'm working with kids now, they look at getting to college as the process. I said that transition can hurt you.
Yes.
Because if you're not prepared, so I try preparing kids. If you're in elementary school, I'm gonna train you like you're in middle school. If you're in middle school, I train you like you're in high school. If you're in high school, train you like you're in college. You're in college, train you like you're in professional. Because therefore, mentally, you already transition to that next level. So it'll help you with that transition. And if you coming from a home where you were restricted to a lot, and you go out and do, and then you go to college, and you got women from all around the country. I don't care what college you go to, you got women there from around the country. And if you ain't used to that freedom, my 1 year in college, four starters when we was ranked in the nation that year.
Yeah.
And 4 of the players on our team in college failed off.
Yeah, and the thing about it is so with sports, basketball, and every sport really, you have inbounds, out of bounds. A lot of times athletes do what they have to do on the court, they're inbounds. But when they're off the court, that's when they kind of go out of bounds. And Bill, tell me about why court vision is important playing basketball, but why is vision so important in life? Why do you have to have vision?
Because I think vision can lead to success when you're able to see things. Like you have to be able to see things, and like on the basketball court, being able to see every avenue, being able to see every player when you're coming down the court in a fast break. It's the same thing, I think, with life. Like you have different avenues. You always have to be able to see all your options. I would say all your options, and pick one. And if that doesn't work, then you try the next one.
Yeah. What about you, Maurice? Why is court vision so important and the vision in life? How can we marry the two in life?
Wow. I think it's very important with me, because basketball was a game, but basketball taught me about the game of life.
Yeah.
And when I'm training kids or coaching them or whatever, that's more important. I'm gonna take basketball. Yeah, I'm gonna teach you the drills, the skills that you need. But whenever that season in your life is over, how are you going to function as a young man? How are you going to function as a young lady? Are you going to be productive? Or is basketball the only thing that you're focusing on? And if you get hurt, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen because of that? So being able to have that vision for something in the future, it allows you to prepare for something like that, just in case. What if I get hurt? Or what if I just don't play basketball anymore and I just wanted to do something else different that's in life?
Yeah. So, and that's a good segue. How would basketball prepare me for life? Or how would sports prepare me for life? Is it something that you can kind of point to and says, okay, discipline, hard work that prepared you for where you are at right now? And I'll let you go, Maurice.
My players used to get upset. They're like, how do you relate everything to life? Anything that happened on the court, I'll take it and relate it to life. To take, for example, defense. A lot of coaches don't like coaching man-to-man. They want to coach zone. I call it lazy man defense. All you got to do is play an area. But when you're playing man-to-man, it's just like playing a zone, because you have to know how to rotate. But it also makes you work as a team. You have to communicate. You have to talk on defense. And that talking builds communication. And working as a team, it makes you rely on your teammate. And when one of you falls short, then you will have that accountability partner that's going to let you know, hey, man, you jacked that up. But to be able to be, you can have the one that's going to give the hold you accountable, but you also have to be open to receiving the accountability.
Yeah.
And to take that and to have that where it can relate to life. And then I have some of the players that will come back a week, month, maybe years later, and they will remember specific things that I said to them on the court and say, Coach, that makes sense now. And to me, that's bigger than winning the state championship.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got the games that you won, state championship games, but they got to be able to live after sports. Yeah. If we just let them play sports and they won us championship rings and all of this, and that's all we gave them, then we're doing these kids a injustice. Yeah. We got to prepare them the same way you want them to be successful on the court. They got to be more successful off the court. Everybody ain't going pro. And even the people who go pro, they still need to be successful after the game is over with.
That's right.
You only got a short period of time to play this game.
Yeah.
That's right.
What about you, Bill?
Well, I think, you know, it's the same effort. I find that, you know, I explain to kids the same effort that you would put into your studies or to put into basketball, into training, it'll be the same thing that you want to put into life. So especially in the education wise, you know, that same effort and practice that you do to work on your game can be the same thing you can do in your studies, especially if you're struggling in any area in your curriculum. You want to be able to have the knowledge and know how to work on things and to get yourself better and be able to finish your goals as say, give yourself a goal of being able to do well in math, because I use math because I wasn't that good at it. But it's the same thing. I tell them it's the same thing. Practice it. You practice on the court. You want to become better at it, you have to practice at it. It's the same thing in your education as well. And I've been teaching a lot of basketball camps, and I always explain that to kids too, so they can understand. Like, it's more than just a game. It's just a game of life.
That's right. Well, that ends our third quarter.